What's going on, everyone? So the first two games of preseason, Christian Wood looked a little rough, right? He looked like a guy that was a bit out of shape, not really game ready. Looked like a guy trying to get back into it. A lot of people were kind of down on him, kind of, questioning him a little bit. And after the previous game, I talked about how, like, hey, you know what? He looked much better. He looked like a guy that, obviously is trying to get himself back into the swing of things, right? I defended him a little bit, right? He wasn't like fantastic against the Kings, but he was much improved, right? 5 of 7 from the field, 13 points in 20 minutes, 4 rebounds, but he did start off a little rocky. He started off a little rough, made a couple mistakes, stuff like that, had some early turnovers. But then he kind of started getting in the flow of things, started getting in the feel of things. And I made a video talking about him after the Sacramento game and said, look, he looks like he's starting to figure it out. He looks like a guy that's starting to get in that rhythm. And then the Lakers played the Warriors, and Christian Wood looked like Christian Wood. He was fantastic, in my opinion. He played 13 minutes, delivered another 13-point game, 5 of 8 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, excellent shooting, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, right? He's still playing, in my opinion, solid defense, right? He's not elite defensively. He's nothing like that, but he's holding his own, right? And he looked like what we expect from Christian Wood. I mean, look, I don't expect Christian Wood to necessarily go get you 17 to 20 a night. I don't. I absolutely believe he's going to have games where he goes off for 20 or maybe even 30 or something like that, because he is very talented. He can score the basketball. But the Lakers have so many threats, right? I mean, you got Rui Hachimura, you got D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, right? It's not counting, all the other guys that go off. Taurean Prince gave you 17 last night. He could easily go get you 17 to 20 on a hot shooting night. Max Christie, go get you probably 15 on a hot shooting night, right? Like Gabe Vincent had a 20-point game. He could go off on any given night, right? Like, you have so many weapons on this Lakers roster. Christian Wood very likely isn't going to give you 17 to 20 on a regular basis, right? Now, if he can, that's beautiful. But I mean, if he could give you, let's say he plays, 20 minutes a game, and if he can give you 13 points a game on essentially 5 of 8 shooting or something like that, or even let's say 5 of 10 shooting or 5 of 11 shooting, right? Like, that would just be beautiful. Like, if he could give us his stat line last night, every game of the season, good luck beating the Lakers. Because you're talking about a 13-7 guy on high efficiency coming off the bench as like your 6th, 7th, 8th guy. Again, good luck stopping the Lakers. Christian Wood is looking like the guy we expect him to be. Say it again. I defended him. I said, you got to keep in mind, this guy is going to take a couple games to really get game ready, right? The guy wasn't able to work out in actual gyms, right? He could go to his local rec center or go to a college or a high school or something and do whatever, right? He could do that, but he wasn't signed. He was a free agent. So it wasn't he could go to the Dallas training facility, right? It wasn't that he could go to the Lakers training facility. Like, he couldn't. And there's no replicating actual gameplay. You're not going to be able to simulate playing an actual NBA game. Going to your local YMCA is not the equivalent of that. Going to the Drew League is not the equivalent to that, right? Running little scrimmages, running in practice and stuff like that. It's not the same thing. Like, yeah, it's competitive. Practices are great. Practices are fun, but it's not an actual NBA game. You can't simulate that. So it takes time when you haven't gotten to play all offseason to get into the flow and the rhythm of the game, to work into game ready. He could have ran 10 miles a day, lifted weights for 5 hours a day, took 10,000 jump shots a day. He could have done all of that. It doesn't mean you're in game shape readiness, right? You see guys have to kind of work into the flow. I mean, even other guys, Taurean Prince, the first game of the season, he was terrible. He had 5 fouls in the first 5 minutes that he was in the game. Like, it was just, he looked like a guy that had never played an NBA game in his life. And since that game, he's been fantastic. He's been so good. I think the Lakers have to start him, right? He's been fantastic. And I may even dive into him again because I think he deserves the love and attention. But Christian Wood is showing it and getting it done on both sides of the ball. Again, he's not Anthony Davis defensively. He's not. And, as much as we would love for him to be Anthony Davis defensively, unfortunately, he's not. But he is getting after it. He is altering shots. He is playing hard. He is working, on both sides of the basketball. And that's what you want to see. Those are the things that are important. Those are the things that translate well and are able to keep you on the basketball court, right? Christian Wood, the way he's going to earn his 15 to 20 minutes a game is being serviceable defensively. And we've seen that. We've seen him block shots and alter shots and make closeouts and close out hard. Even when it's not his assignment, even when it's not his job, we've seen him do it, right? We've seen Christian Wood basically is starting to establish a box out. Guy ends up getting swung wide open. He's wide open. And instead of just saying, it's not my problem, let me box out and get this rebound in case he misses, goes and makes the extra effort, runs out, puts a hand up. Guy misses. A couple times he's even blocked the shot, right? And even if the guy makes it, right, you did your part. You took that extra effort. You took that extra step. You took that extra leap. I love that. I love seeing that. He's going to take some time. And you got to keep in mind, the guy's going from, arguably the second, third scoring option on pretty much every team he's been on to like the 8th, right? He's very likely not going to start, right? So he's at bare minimum the 6th man, right? And then you add in a Rui Hachimura. You add in a Gabe Vincent, right? Yeah, it's just, he's, in my opinion, basically the 7th guy, right? Because I think Rui, he's going to play a huge part too. You can make an argument, let's say they're both 6th man, right? And I wouldn't be surprised if either of them won 6th man this year, especially if the Lakers are really good, right? And Rui and Wood are putting up, say 15 a game or whatever, or one of them is putting up 15, the other one's putting up like 13 or something like that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if one of them ends up winning 6th man of the year. And Christian Wood very well could. Right, if he plays the way we saw him play last night, he has a genuine argument. Like a genuine argument. Again, getting it done on the defense side, getting it done on the offense side. Right? If you played him 20 minutes, he probably wouldn't gave you 20 points. You're averaging a point a minute. So it's not far-fetched to think like 13 minutes, 13 points, 20 minutes, 20 points, right? Like, so if he could replicate that, he could do something, anything close to that, right? And then, provide serviceable quality defense. You're talking about a legit 6th man of the year candidate. And he's only going to get better. He's only going to improve. He's just got to figure it out. He's just got to work his way in, develop that chemistry with the team, develop that chemistry with the roster. Don't try to do so much. He has had a couple games where I feel like he's trying to do a little too much rather than just kind of letting the game come to him. I thought he did a much better job in this Warrior game, just kind of getting the feel and the flow of the game, right? Kind of letting things evolve and allowing things to kind of shake up on its own, right? And, he had an excellent touch today. Seriously, he had a couple just beautiful shots that were just perfect, right? If he shoots that a little, just a hair harder or a hair softer, he misses that, right? So he's starting to get his feel, starting to get his touch, right? He was doing a better job of just playing within the offense. He was picking and choosing when to be aggressive and when to attack. Like, those are the things that I love to see. Those are the things that I think are very important for Wood. And I have a lot of optimism for him. I have a lot of hope and expectation for him. I believe that he's going to be a genuine factor for the Lakers this year. I think he's going to be very important and very massive for the Lakers. I really do. I mean, again, I wouldn't be surprised if he's our sixth man of the year. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you love what you saw from Wood here this game? Do you think like, no, you still want to see a little more? Again, I personally believe he's starting to get that genuine feel. I think he's starting to get that flow, and I think he's going to make some real noise. But anyway, again, love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Let me know down in the comments.